and salutations. It is I, Professor Macabro, here again to finish talking in 2026 about stuff I really should have talked about in 2025. But, c'est la vie. Anyway, I was able to, since, it was the holidays, I at least got 1 or 2 days off during Christmas and New Year's. So, went out to the Gremlins, and we were out and about, and I was able to find a few things. And I got some things for Christmas, so let's look what I got. First off, I picked up, the flea market I went to, this little guy. It's a little, I don't know if it's a latex mask or a vinyl mask. It's shiny on the inside, and, it doesn't feel like latex, so I'm going to say it's probably vinyl. But this little half mask, a skull. And as you know, I do so very much enjoy collecting skulls. I have a thing for skulls, what can I say? And, the thing about latex is that if it's too much in the sun, or if you don't handle it properly, or you have it in a styrofoam head without putting plastic over the styrofoam head, it tends to dry rot. And what basically is that the moisture in the latex gets sucked out, or dries out, or evaporates out, and it starts turning really hard. And then eventually it starts crackling, and then just disintegrates. So you do have to be very careful with your mask. Now, also, some people are allergic to latex. When you put a latex mask on, it has an adverse reaction. I don't have any allergies to latex, thank God, because I'm already allergic to a whole bunch of other shit. So, but keeping latex properly stored is a bit of a bitch. So, yes, indeed. But I like collecting masks, and again, I have a thing for skulls. So, this one doesn't look like it has any latex rot. So, again, maybe it's vinyl? I don't know, it doesn't feel like latex again. But it might be one of these little child vinyl masks. So, but I like the design, kind of looks like Skeletor. Ha 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 ha. So I was like, I'm gonna pick it up because I like it. So, yes, got this really cheap. Got it for 5 pesos. And you can't go wrong with a purchase like that. Also picked up these things. Aviator goggles. Because another one of the things I collect are glasses, goggles, or weird shades. Again, goggles. So I have a box full of random goggles, glasses, or shades. Why would I have this? Well, as you know, I love Halloween. I like dressing up on Halloween. And you never know when the character that I want to dress as might need a particular set of looking glasses, goggles, or shades. So, whenever I come across a weird-looking set of goggles, glasses, or shades that I don't know, I pick it up, especially if it's cheap. And this one was cheap. Looks like your old-school aviator goggles, made of plastic, not metal. But that's what they look like. I was like, yeah, I'm going to pick it up. Because you never know when a costume might call either an anime costume, a lot of children's animes, characters have goggles on their head for reasons. So, yes, you can't go wrong by picking up a pair of goggles for what have you. Maybe the Gremlins want to cosplay as one of these anime characters that need goggles. Well, there you go. They can borrow mine. So, yes, that's why I have a box full of weird goggles, glasses, or shades. Oh, man, I'm prepared. Isn't it? I'm like Batman. Better to have it and not need it than not need it and not have it. That's how that thing goes, I think. Also, I went to Walmart Mexico because I need food and sustenance and booze. So I went there and they had this like shopping cart full of stuff that I guess they found on storage and they were liquidating. So there was a lot of weird random stuff, and they had a little bunch of Halloween stuff. So I got this for a peso, which is less than a penny, I guess. And it's a little skull flower pot. And I was like, well, shit, this is really cool. Of course I'm gonna get it because, again, I like collecting skulls. Especially the skulls of my enemies, but we don't talk about that. And unfortunately, the flowers in said flower pot was very lacking. I'm going to have to go to Dollar Tree and pick up some more flowers to spruce up this little guy. I was like, for a peso? Hell yeah, I'm gonna pick this thing up because it looks cool. So I bought that, indeed. I'm gonna drop it because they're glass. And as I was shifting through that shopping cart, because if I found one thing, I might be able to find some other thing, and I did. I found a white version. No pot, though. Doesn't have a flower pot in it. But I was like, well, I could put a candle here. And this one's white, and I think it looks really cool, so I'll have black and white. I would have preferred if I found a red one, because it's my color scheme. Red and black, but this white one looks pretty cool nonetheless. And again, a peso. It's ridiculous. You can't buy jack shit for a peso. So I was like, hell yeah. I'm going to pick those too. They didn't have any other Halloween stuff in there, unfortunately. But again, for a peso. Even the cashier was like, holy shit, this is a peso? Ridiculous. But they're mine. Also, someone that I work with recently, in the beginning of last year, bought a 3D printer. He wanted to dip his hand in 3D printing. And that's something I actually would like to be able to afford. But you not only do you have to buy the 3D printer, but you have to buy the filament to print the 3D print. So I unfortunately can't afford that. I'm old school, paper mache and foam. That's how I do my projects. Sometimes cardboard, but what have you. So I can't afford and maintain a 3D printing hobby. But he does. So I asked him, well, what can you 3D print? Well, I can. That's not something that's too big. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll pass these things to you, and then you'll let me know what it is. And the first thing that I asked for him to 3D print was this. Gotta be really careful, because they're super thin. But for a while now, I've been wanting to make Element Configuration, which is the Hellraiser box. It's a puzzle box that you open it, and Pinhead and the other Cenobites popped out. So I said that I found online this 3D file that you can print, and you can get the templates for the Element Configuration. And they're these things, really, really thin and really, really easily cracked, which is why I have to be very, very careful with these, because they are very, very intricate and detailed, and if I fuck up and move them the wrong way, they're gonna fall apart. But he said he fucked up the printing. The designs aren't as clear as on the file, so he didn't charge me anything for these. All I have to do, because I already bought the box again, I was going to do it with cardboard and a wooden box that I found. But with these, I can just paint these and super glue them to that wooden box, and then I'll have a Lament Configuration that will look pretty cool. So, something to pass along to DUI Macabro. So I will finally have a Lament Configuration in the collection. I already have an Elder one. I have 3 books of the Necronomicon, the Sanderson Sisters spellbook. I wanted Element Configuration. Also, maybe a project for next year will be the Bloodstone from the Subspecies series. So I'll keep you updated on that. Yes, indeed. And the other thing I wanted him to print, and this one he did charge for this one because he fucked up on those. So he didn't charge me for this, but this was apparently more intricate and took a lot more time. But it's a Welcome to Camp Crystal Lake sign. And I was like, oh yeah. Yes, indeed. Now all I have to do is paint this thing to make it look like the sign. And I'll have a little Welcome to Camp Crystal Lake sign. It says right there, Welcome to Camp Crystal Lake. So yeah, super happy to. I mean, you can buy these at Spirit Halloween, but they're kind of pricey, and I've never been able to find a Spirit Halloween. So I was like, well, can you do it? He said yes, but this one I'm actually going to charge you because it was a little bit more expensive. And I was like, fine, it looks really cool, looks really awesome. Just have to paint it, and it'll give me something to do. Again, once I pass it along to DUI Macabro, he'll paint it. Hopefully it'll look pretty good, and it'll be a nice, interesting project to either monumentally fuck up or it'll actually turn out pretty cool. So, yes, hopefully it'll turn out pretty cool. Also, we went to Ross, which is an outlet store crossing the border, and was actually looking for stuff for the Gremlins. And I did find stuff for them. They quite enjoyed it. But they had a couple of Toonie Terrors. Some I already had, and some I didn't have. So I was like, well, shit, one of these I really want. The other one's just, it was there. So I picked up, finally, the Toonie Terror of Pinhead. And there's the Lament configuration there. This one cost me $8. And I don't have Pinhead. Actually, I've been missing Pinhead and Freddy Krueger in this series. I also would like to get Tarman. But, yeah, they had Pinhead. They had 2 Pinheads there. But the other box was pretty fucked up. This box is pretty nice. Pretty cool. And I was like, well, shit, I have to pick up Pinhead. Because, hell yeah. So, yes, now I'm just missing Freddy and the Tarman to complete my Toonie Terror collection. Of course, there's way more Toonie Terrors that I would like to get. Like, the Universal ones. And there's going to be the Terrifier series that I would like to get at least one. But yes, from the OG series, I need Freddy and Tarman to complete that collection. But the other one they had, I do have a couple of Reagan. I have a Reagan plushie. I think I have some other Reagan thing. But they had Reagan from The Exorcist in the Toonie Terrors. And I was like, well, shit. I've never seen a Reagan on the shelves. I'm going to pick up Reagan, and there she is. She has a swappable head, demon-possessed head, and then a head with an open mouth, and you have your pea soup there coming out of the head. Looks really cool, and I really like, and on the back you have the little set thing, and you have the weird-looking face there. So I was like, do I really need Reagan? Well, no, she's not one I was actively hunting for. But she's there, and she's cheap, and I was like, I probably should get it, and got it, I did. And I'm happy I did, because these Toonie Terrors are not easy to come by, let me tell you. No, they're really hard to come by. And I also got the Funko Pop Shawn in that occasion. And they also had a couple of NECA figures, like full-sized figures, that they were $20, but I was like, well, shit. I could either buy the 2 Toonie Terrors and the Shaun of the Dead one for $20, or I can buy one NECA figure. I was like, well, fuck it, I'm going to buy 3 instead of the one, and I left behind the full-blown NECAs. But, for Christmas, someone saw it, and I was like, hey, I'm going to get it for you, and got it, I did. This is the NECA figure that I wanted. They had a couple of Wolfmans, and they had a couple of Universals, which look really cool. But this is the one that I was eyeing, and I wanted to get. And this is a crossover that NECA did between the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Universal Monsters. And they had Donatello as a Frankenstein, I think it was Raphael as the Frankenstein. Donatello was the Invisible Man. Leonardo was a hunchback, which was weird because the original toy line, he was a werewolf. Didn't quite agree with that. And they made April O'Neil the Bride of Frankenstein. And they made Splinter Van Helsing. And if I remember right, they made Shredder Dracula. But Mikey, they made it to the Mummy. And I was like, that looks really cool. But the real cool part is that there was a picture floating from the very first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live-action movie of one of the remaining heads. And unfortunately, the animatronic head, which was covered by latex, was going through some severe latex rot. The eyes were peeled out, the mouth looked all weird, it looked freaky as shit. If I can find a picture, I'll post it here. But it looks really fucked up, like the stuff of nightmares. And I love it. I love that this exists. But this particular figure has swappable heads, and has a whole bunch of accessories and hands. And one of the swappable heads is that picture right there. The one with the bulgy eyes and the mouth that is super creepy. I was like, oh my god, that is amazing. I do want to get this one, but again, I can get one thing or three. I went for three. I don't regret my decision. I thought it was the better deal. Yes, indeed. But still, I still was able to get this as a Christmas present. And look at that weird-ass face. Look at it. Oh, my God, so horrible. It's much better than the actual face that's for Mikey there. That looks like a... But really, really cool figure. My favorite turtle is Leonardo, but this looks so cool. And this would be my second large-scale NECA figure, because I bought the reissue of Elvira that doesn't have the swappable head, but only has the swappable faceplate. And this Mikey will be my second full-blown NECA figure. And I'm super happy and grateful to have gotten this for Christmas. Yes, indeed. Another NECA figure to go with my Elvira reissue there. Yes, love it. If I could, I would like to get more of these, because combining the Turtles with Universal Monsters, it's just a good thinking. That's what they did. I don't think for licensing reasons they could actually call them Turtles Teenage Universal Monsters, but that's what they were. Basically, they had made the Turtles into variants of monsters. And I have a very special place in my heart for those figures. I've been wanting to get them. I only own Raphael as the mummy. He glows in the dark. And I really wanted Leo as the werewolf. But, yeah. This is just so good. And I do wish I could find, for a good price, the rest of the Turtles in this line. So, yes, because I love the Turtles. Yes, indeed. And that was my little haul of stuff that I got last year. Yes, indeed. Will 2026 be an even better year for hauls? I don't know. Things are looking grim in the world, and the year has just barely started. So we'll see. We'll see what the year holds for your good old pal, Professor Macabro. But this year does mark the 10th anniversary of the creation of Professor Macabro. I started doing videos way back in 2016, but my channel, the Professor Macabro channel, much more recently. But since I was created, it's going to be 10 years. So will I do something big? We shall see. We shall see. Hopefully I'll find the time to do so. But expect movie reviews, because during the holidays I was able to watch a bunch of stuff that I do want to talk about. So stay tuned for that. But what do you think was the greatest thing in the haul? I really like the Toonie Terrors. I must admit, those are really cool. The 3D printed stuff, awesome. And that Mikey, super cool. But what was your favorite item? What the hell? What was your favorite item? Let us know in the comments down below. But until I see you all again next time, which hopefully won't take me another 3 weeks to sit down and record something, I thank you, and I wish you all, like always, a good evening.